私らに無理やりお酌をさせようとしたっす。
𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𥥥 マナテアムイラウエモアウスネロニムネイツイチヤ。
なんて言ったの？
全員俺の大切な家族で仲間だ。多分合ってると思う。
All right, my friends, A Rank Party is back. We just got done watching episode number 10, and there were some positives about this episode. So let me talk about the positives first, and then I'm going to talk about all the negatives. Because at the end of the day, this was a episode 10 out of 24, and it was the new core, or the new restart to the season. So let me just say some of the refresh stuff. I do like how we are visiting a brand new area. It was called like sand something. I don't know, something with an S, but they're visiting a brand new area because they've discovered a new dungeon, or there was a new dungeon discovered, and the Clover Party has been assigned as one of the first parties to go and investigate said dungeon. So that's the first thing. Brand new area, brand new dungeon. I like that. I like the restart of the ED. You know, I think the ED was really, really good. It shows all the different girls kind of being solidified. I like that quite a bit too. Also, the poster was also refreshed, and it looks like in the poster, it looks like there is a new girl with white hair that's going to be introduced as well. Don't quite know who she is, but regardless, I genuinely do really like that as well too. Which, I mean, I guess that could be Lady Persephone, but I don't think it is, but hard to say for sure, but I do like that quite a bit. I like that we did get a smidge, you know, a tiny bit of fan service when it came to the baths and the onsen, and we got to see, you know, Rain and Silk and Nene, you know, kind of, you know, doing their thing essentially, which I thought was really, really cool. And I guess like the fourth thing, I think I'm on number 4. You guys can keep count. The fourth thing is I like how, regardless of how the translation worked and how, you know, the mispronunciation worked, is when Yuke was telling the dudes who were giving Marina and Nene and Rain some flack inside of the bar, he did kind of claim them as his own. Now, he kind of said, like, hey, these are mine, you know? He said these are my wives specifically. But I like how Rain was very hee ha ha about it. I thought that was just a really adorable and really, really cute moment for all the girls. And I especially love how Marina reacted to that as well, too. She's like, okay, we need to go get some kind of gear that shows that we belong to you. Like, so that way it's like, if you wear red, we wear red. So every man knows that we are your property. And I basically like how the girls are just like on board with just like, okay, yeah, we belong to you. I guess that's just kind of how it works. And I think that was really cute. And it kind of, you know, emboldens the truth and kind of, you know, pushes that narrative of harem a little bit more, which I really like, which means that there is going to be budding romance between Yuke and Silk and Rain and Marina and Nene and eventually probably Jamie as well, too. This just kind of solidifies that a little bit more, that he is living his best life. Now, what I didn't like about the episode, so let's talk about the negatives, is I didn't like the fact that last week was a bye week. It was a pause week, and essentially it was a pause week due to them coming back with this second core, with the restart of the season, with the brand new refresh and stuff. And, you know, like I said, you know, a part of me gets it, so I'm not completely mad about it. You know, in fact, it's like, okay, you needed that week to give us a pause or whatever, that's fine. But when you come back, you know, give us some really interesting material. Although, like I said, there were positives to the episode. It was still, the biggest negative is it was a boring episode. I kind of like felt my eyes glazing over a few times. It was a bit boring. The highlight of the episode, I definitely thought was going to be the bath and the onsen stuff. But not only did Yuke not get to participate in the bath scene and stuff, they didn't really spend a whole lot of time on it. So, you know, we didn't get to see a lot of assets for very long on screen. Not that we needed it, but if they're going to do fan service, just do it right, you know? And they didn't really mention, because I'm going to stick on the fan service stuff. Not only did Yuke not participate, they didn't kind of mention why. You know, we can assume like, oh, he's like, oh, you know, we can assume, but we didn't have that funny banter scene where they try to drag him in with them or with the girls or anything. Like, nothing ended up happening there, and they could have. So that was kind of the second thing. He ended up meeting somebody again who basically just gave him the hookup, you know, and she ended up being this big, you know, buff lady. and they ended up, you know, kind of like setting them up and stuff at an inn. And of course, they came across a bunch of dudes who ended up being like super negative and assholes and stuff. So again, I snuck that into the positive, but it can also be seen as a negative because just, you know, like, okay, every place you go, people are just gonna be garbage. But you know, hey, that is what it is. And then kind of the last thing is, you know, this is a setup to get them into the dungeon. We got to the entrance of the dungeon. We didn't quite get in it, but you know, we saw a little bit of it. So I'm not. It's like a half negative of like, I kind of wish that if the purpose was to get them into the dungeon, that we just got a little bit more action of that. You know, before the episode just kind of ended on that. So yeah, those are kind of the things. Next week is called The Capital Distorted by Twilight. I don't quite know what that means, but that's pretty much what we're gonna have of that's pretty much what we're going to have next week. So we'll end up seeing, you know, what that entails, what that is. But at this point, Clover and the gang have started their live stream, and they're officially entering this new quest and new dungeon. So is what it is. So easy breezy. This was also, I'll call it a 6 out of 10. Really, if I were to be really like, if I could like really go to like the details of the minute stuff, I would say I would give this a 6.5 out of 10. It was a fine episode of A Rank Party. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like the video to help a brother out. And I'll see you guys next week, my friends. Peace.